Do you know what Watergwan is? It's where you can get news about the Jamaican culture and just learn about how Jamaicans are doing, as I said, yard and abroad.
You get to learn a new Jamaican patois word or even a Jamaican phrase.
I look forward to the patois word of the day.
The patois word is pasa pasa.
Word today is taco ram.
Our word of the day is Duffy.
Talawa. Gwang. A little twang. Not true.
Enjoy tuning in to What a
It
Gwaan.
happens every Friday, 7 p.m. So check them out. And bye from Toronto.
Dodds, Québec, la Jamaïque, écoute What a Gwaan. Yes, I, What a Gwaan.
Watch What a Gwaan.
I am a big fan of What a Gwaan.
Watch What a Gwaan.
Relevant and entertaining, so keep up the good work.
Watch What a Gwaan.
Big up yourself. What a Gwaan 2022. Bless up.
What a Gwaan. Yes, I, What a Gwaan.
Watch What a Gwaan.
Always say I'm going to know what Gwaan in a yard. Check it out. 7 p.m. every Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone. My name is Shelly Morgan. No sound effect today. It is my pleasure to be your host for yet another episode of What a Gwaan. There we go. It's Shelly. Thank you, MJ. Today was a beautiful day here in Montreal. I hope that during this weekend, you step out into nature and wherever you are, you enjoy Mother Nature. She is perfect and beautiful, and we have to treat her right. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another episode of What a Gwaan. Now, today's topic is about Jamaican national heroes. Who should be a national hero? As Jamaica comes out of celebrating Heritage Week and National Heroes Day, we will be speaking with Ambassador Curtis Ward on this very important topic, which brings us so much civic and national pride. Stay with us for yet another interesting conversation. But before we go any further, the patois word of the day: bashment. You're just full of bashment. We invite you to write the definitions in the comments. We welcome all your questions and your comments in the chat. Let's keep that conversation going. Use it in a sentence. Bashment. What it mean? Bashment. Now, last week we had an in-depth discussion with Dr. Yvonne Kangong and Anthony Henry on the topic of cancer awareness, breast and prostate cancer. We talked about the effects of the disease on patients and their families, taking small steps to adapt healthier habits and encouraging. And during the conversations, there was a lot of encouragement for us to start getting screened by a doctor as a part of our healthy lifestyle. Them say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. As always, the goal of our show is to engage in dialogue on topics that are important to our well-beings. We hope that you found this topic informative and found value in the information provided by our guests. We thank Dr. Kangong and Mr. Henry for coming on the show to share their knowledge and personal experience with us. Thank you. We love it when you engage with us with your comments and feedback on the show, so keep them coming. If you missed that show last week or any episode, check out the replay on What a Gwaan YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Find the links on our website, whatagwan.ca. Now, what's happening across Canada? In Winnipeg, Roots Reggae Community invites you to Shaggy Birthday Edition, happening on Saturday the 22nd at the Goodwill Social Club located at 625 Portage Avenue. Tickets and show information can be found at www.showpass.com/Shaggy-Winnipeg. In Vancouver, check out Level the Vibes Oldies Reggae Show. Your host, George Barrett, is sharing the best ska, rockers, reggae, roots, and culture on Vancouver's Co-op Radio CFRO 100.5 FM every Tuesday morning from 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon Mountain Standard Time. Please check out their website at coopradio.org and search Level the Vibes to discover past shows, connect to their social media, and find the best way to listen to the live broadcast wherever you are. In Calgary, plan to ring in 2023. Yes, we did it already. With Jamaican Canadian Association Alberta at their New Year's Eve Gala on December 31st, 2022 at the Royal Hotel Calgary. Dinner and dance starts at 7 p.m. with music by DJ Stush. Tickets are $120 and are available on Eventbrite. Special room discounts available for those wanting to take the elevator home for the night. Check www.jcalberta.com for more information. But now, spot that place. I know them always catch me a dance to the people them good up music. Now, spot the place. This is where we share pictures of places in Jamaica and Canada, and you, my lovely friends, need to tell us where this specific location is. Now, the clues. Once known as Race Course, this place was the burial site for national heroes, leaders, and icons. It's 50 acres of open space. It's the largest open space in Kingston. Now, between 1953 and 1973, it was known as George VI Memorial Park. Can you spot the place? Add it to comments. We want to hear from you. Tell us. Take a guess. I wait there. Once known as Race Course, burial site for national heroes, leaders, and icons. 50 acres of open space in Kingston. Tell me. Now, the moment that we've all been waiting for. My brethren, I come with the bashment. Donovan. Time.
As a bashment, Shelly.
You know what I mean, not sure, yeah.
As a bashment, Shelly. That's it. Everything good?
Yeah, everything good. We're good.
Montreal, all right?
Oh, it's beautiful. Yes. Yes.
Cool. Well, I don't know who your favorite national hero is. On Monday, there's National Heroes Day in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be some bashment parties and things that go on. Enough bashment as them celebrate.
No.
We have to celebrate for everything. But we're going to dig into some history. I tell you, my guest today is possibly the best Jamaican encyclopedia I have spoken to.
Wow.
Right? Trust me. So we're going to get into some bashment conversation with you.
I am all ears. I want to hear all about the bashment.
Yeah, ears, not ears. Ears.
Oh, sorry. Ears. Yeah, sorry. Thank you.
All right, cool. I'll have a reason and then we'll come back. All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, greetings, folks. Welcome to another Time to Reason here. I'm Donovan on Gwaan. And this week was Heritage Week in Jamaica. And on Monday, they celebrate National Heroes Day. And today I have the pleasure of speaking to Ambassador Curtis Ward. Ambassador Ward was Jamaica's permanent representative to, ambassador and deputy permanent representative to the United Nations between, when was it? January 2000 to December 2001. He has traveled all over. He has represented the United Nations and a range of different things. If I had to read that, it would take up the entire program, right? Something I want you to check out. He's the founder and executive director of a program on YouTube called the Ward Post. So you get a lot about what's happening in Washington. But today we're going to pick his mind because he has served as a foreign service officer for the government of Jamaica in Washington, D.C. He's a lawyer. He's all kinds of things. Trust me. Well, today we're going to talk about national heroes with Ambassador Curtis Ward. Ambassador.
Yes, sir.
Well, welcome to Gwaan. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you? How are you?
I am good. I don't know if back in the days when you were serving as a foreign service officer, if we had bashment.
I don't know if that's what we used to call it, you know. I guess my age would determine whether or not that was the term we used, right?
Well, even if it wasn't bashment, I'm sure there was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I want to dig into your thoughts today as we discuss Jamaica national heroes. Who should be a national hero? And the legislation around national heroes says that the honor of national or the order of national hero is conferred upon somebody who was born in Jamaica or who is at the time of his or her death a citizen of Jamaica who has rendered to Jamaica service of a most distinguished nature. That's so right. Based on that definition, first of all, how would you assess Jamaica's appreciation of the recognition of the heroes that and one heroine that we have today? What do you see? What do you hear, as it relates to these people who have been conferred with this honor?
Well, I think Jamaicans once a year or one month out of each year pays quite a bit of attention to the national heroes and heroine. I don't believe that throughout the year that they get the kind of recognition that they should be getting, meaning to say that the curriculum in the schools don't reflect the work of these individuals and why they are called national heroes. Right. So while they celebrate National Heroes Day and October as National Heritage Month or whatever it is, I don't think our history books from the primary level upwards understand the significance of who these people really are.
Right. Let's talk about the significance then. When you look at these heroes, what are some of the things that come out to you? Maybe you can go even as far as to which one of them is your favorite.
To tell you the truth, I've never thought of a favorite. But if I had to choose, it would be between Sam Sharp and Paul Bogle.
Okay.
Followed by Norman Manley.
Mm-hmm.
But Marcus Garvey also has a very significant impact on all of our lives. And it's not a fair question because the more I think about it, the more difficult
right.
I find it to choose one. But there's another part to your question, and I think I may have forgotten that.
In terms of their contribution.
Or their contributions.
Right.
Well, each one is set in a different part of our history, except for Buster and Norman Manley. They shared a common history and a common period of Jamaica's history. You go back beyond that, you would get to Marcus Garvey, who really instilled pride in the black man,
right,
and understanding that there is a political course that we should be following,
right,
as well as an economic course. And he was of a certain period. Um, and before that, you would go back to the time of Paul Bogle and George William Gordon, and again, they were advocates for freedom of and working conditions of black people in Jamaica. Sam Sharp, as a deacon in a church, led a revolt, the largest revolt in Jamaica's history,
right,
against slavery. And of course, Nani was a Maroon warrior who fought against the enslavers.
right.
So each one has a different role in our history. And if you start with Nani onwards, up until Sir Alexander Bustamante and Norman Washington Manley, there is a link between all of them.
Right.
Each one sought to bring the people of Jamaica to a different level, whether it be political or otherwise. And this significance, I don't think it's being taught
right
the way it should be. And I find it quite interesting, Donovan, that you should raise this question. Because before you raised it, I never really gave any thought to it myself. And you forced me to think about it. And the fact that I thought about it the way I did, and it's an indication I'm not a historian.
Yeah.
I love history, but I'm not a historian. So I try to reflect what I knew in the context of the people that they represented and served.
Yeah. But you're not a historian, but you have been around the politics. So here's one. All of the heroes have been either social or political contributors. Why do you think that is so? And should we start looking at different people who have made distinguished contributions to Jamaica as national heroes?
I believe the reason for that is the kind of impact that they had on the lives of people. The daily lives, the people's existence, so to speak. What conditions do you exist in as a result of the actions taken by these people who concentrated on those conditions, the conditions of the day? With Norman Manley was, I would say, a futurist, because while he understood the dynamics of the colonialism and the context of our history at that time, Norman Manley was forward-looking. He was looking to educate Jamaicans to take over control of the Jamaican government at some point in the future, and to advance the economic and political well-being of the people. Bustamante, on the other hand, was an organizer of the masses. And they actually complemented each other, And while people look at the intellectual capacity and the pathways that Norman Manley pursued, you also have to look at how Buster got the people on board to make what Norman Manley was pursuing a practical reality.
Right.
Buster was the pragmatist on the ground.
Right. But we haven't named a national hero since 1975, Ambassador, either from the political, social, or other spheres. The name Bob Marley comes upon
75. No,
since
before that.
1975. Sam Sharp and Nanny were conferred with the honor in 1975.
Is that right? I thought it was before that. Anyway, go
No,
ahead.
so you had 1969 for all the others. There was a first tranche where Bogle, Garvey, and William Gordon were named heroes. Then that was followed by Norman Manley and Sir Alexander Bustamante. And then in 1975, Sam Sharp and Nanny were conferred with the honor. Since then, nothing. And there's this universal icon called Bob Marley that many Jamaicans have said has done as much, if not more, than some of those who are already honored with the title. What's your thought on that?
If you look at how many national heroes you have? 7?
Right.
If you look at the 7, those people actually impacted the daily life in a practical way of the Jamaican people at that particular time in their history. Bob Marley, who, as you said, is an icon of music and culture, impacted Jamaicans in a different way. One could ask the question, if it's economic advancement, if it's political advancement, if it's freedom, what has Bob Marley contributed to those things which seem to be the issues that affect people on a daily basis? But we can't just use that as the criteria. We have to go beyond that. Bob Marley has had and continues to have quite an impact on our culture.
Right.
And the culture of a people is a part of their being, it's a part of their history.
Right.
Now, some people may ask, as I said, what economic impact did Bob Marley have on the Jamaican people? And the answer may be very little. He had quite a bit of economic impact on his family.
Right.
Has he helped Jamaican people to liberate their minds? Perhaps. And his song, Liberate Yourself from Mental Slavery and so on and so forth, maybe apropos in this situation, even though those are not his original words.
His words, yeah.
You know, Bob Marley was pretty good at taking words from Marcus Garvey, you know, and certainly one of his most popular songs, War, was taken from Haile Selassie. But he could put those in a context of people's everyday lives.
Yeah.
Especially the underserved masses of Jamaicans. And it was uplifting in a very real sense, spiritual sense. And it helped to create pride in self, which is important in a developing country. You know, I was watching a video recently of the Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Sir Hilary Beckles, the principal.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how the legacy of slavery continues to affect our health.
Okay.
Because a large percentage of Jamaicans over 60 have hypertension and diabetes. Both are either. And it is a result of the diet which was fed.
Yeah,
300 years to enslave.
Too much carbs and too much starch, Ambassador.
No, that's not it. It's just salted food.
Oh, salty food. Okay.
Because slaves were fed on salt pork and salt fish and salt this and that. Right?
Good for stew peas, yeah.
And sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, on the estate there was a sugar. So the slaves had the sugar. You know, when I was growing up as a kid, I was deviating a bit here, Donovan. You ever heard of sugarhead?
Yeah, man. Like a bump thing, yeah.
Can you imagine we used to eat that?
Yeah, but we don't eat worse than that. No, Ambassador. Anyway, we're going off topic. We're going off topic. Here, what I want to talk about, though. But distinguished service is what the regulation or the legislation says on conferring. So I think of people like Miss Louise Bennett, right? People have called her name. People have called the name of sporting icon Usain Bolt. Michael Manley. So when you talk about change and the impact on our people, why haven't those names or those discussions gone any further with us looking to confer national hero status on others since 1975?
Well, Bob Marley and Louis Bennett falls basically in a similar category
Right.
of internationalizing our culture. One in music, one in poetry and narratives, storytelling, and so on. Louis Bennett is imitated every time there is a Jamaican event and there is entertainment of some sort other than music. It's Louis Bennett that is most widely imitated.
Right.
Louise Bennett lifted the language. She regularized the language. She put it in writing of the masses of Jamaicans. And made it acceptable, not just for entertainment, but a language that is very practical in terms of everyday use.
Right.
And she lifted that language to a very high level. So that really impacted the lives of Jamaicans significantly, because rather than look down on those who spoke the language, we recognized it for an expression of their culture and of their everyday transactions. Whatever they did, they spoke that language.
Yeah.
So she gave that language sophistication, let me put it that way, and has impacted the lives of many in that regard. Usain Bolt, I don't see him as a national hero. I see him as a sport hero.
Right.
Who, as an individual, has done extraordinarily well as a Jamaican, or for anybody for that matter, in the field of sport. He lifts the spirit of Jamaican people when he runs and wins. But it's a fleeting impact. Nobody really talking about Usain Bolt running right now. Right? He no longer runs. He's retired. Right. What legacy has he left for the Jamaican people that other track stars hadn't left who preceded him?
Right.
You know, we had Olympians going back to the 50s.
Right.
They have blazed the trail for him.
Right.
Michael Manley, on the other hand, transformed Jamaica's social structure. He created a society of equal Jamaicans, or at least he attempted to do.
Tried to, yeah.
He got a lot of pushback for many reasons. Not that what he was doing would not advance Jamaica and Jamaicans, significantly, but because what he was doing threatened those who were on the top of the ladder, because he was bringing other people up the ladder, and there was only so much space at the top of the ladder, right? It's a pyramid situation.
Right.
He wanted to build a plateau rather than a pyramid. And everything he did in social transformation, social re-engineering in the Jamaican context was to bring up the masses of the people to a higher level, not just to keep them at the bottom in a pyramid structure.
Yeah.
But Jamaica was created from colonialism and neo-colonialism as a pyramid structure.
Yeah.
The education system, the health system. If you're at the top, you have access to good health care.
Yeah.
If you're at the bottom,
Dog
you better drink bush tea. As far as the education system is concerned, until Michael Manley came along and declared all education free up to the tertiary level.
Right. But isn't that distinguished ambassador? Like, is it because of politics why that conversation hasn't been advanced any further?
Absolutely. And not only that, you're right. The politics is so divisive in Jamaica that if you raise that subject, there is a large percentage of Jamaicans who are vehemently opposed because who they consider to be leader of the other side does not measure up to what Michael Manley has done in terms of the social restructuring of Jamaica. And the social restructuring was a precondition for social and economic development. You know, when Jamaica became independent, 80% of Jamaicans were illiterate. In 1972, when Michael Manley became Prime Minister, that percentage had not changed much.
Right. And then came Jamal.
Exactly. How do you develop a country with 80% illiteracy? It's not possible.
Right.
And we've been trying to do that without attacking the problems of education and putting the resources there. So Michael Manley had set the stage. His policies made a lot of sense if Jamaica was to advance. But it also gave dignity to a lot of Jamaicans, not through their ability to attend high school or college, but in terms of their social status. No bastard, no there again, remember?
Right. Yep. Equal pay for women.
Equal pay for women. Women must get time off.
Maternity
leave. And those same people who are working in your household, their children must have access to education, just like you who hire them. So what he introduced in Jamaica was a game changer for the nation, for the people.
So, Ambassador, how with all these game changers and game changing activities, whether it's from Miss Lou on a cultural level, whether it's from Bob Marley on an international level, whether it's Michael Manley on a social level, that those who award or to those who make the decision on conferring these orders have paused?
I think they opened the box and they declared some historical figures, national heroes, They closed the box, locked it, and threw away the key. So now, those of us who advocate or who are prepared to advocate for additional heroes
Yeah.
will have to prise the box open.
Or find the box.
And find the box. But you know, part of the thing, is that you only hear about these things every once in a while.
Right.
There's no consistency in advocacy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think you have a Michael Manley Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't hear of it doing anything.
They don't say anything.
But
is it a function of the political leadership, the ambassador? And I say that against the context of there's a prime minister who is very popular in the Caribbean called Mia Mottley. And she recently, I don't know if it's she or whoever, they nominated and conferred the Order of National Hero on Rihanna, right? A Bajan popular icon. And people seem to have warmed to the idea. But also people start making comparisons in Jamaica to say, there goes leadership, showing the people and appealing to this generation. Because who outside of certain generations have any appreciation of the 7 heroes that we have? I mean, anybody under 30?
I don't think so. And again, that's the fault of the education system.
Mm-hmm.
We have to advocate for our history to be the history,
right,
that is taught in our schools and at a very early level. You shouldn't wait. What do we teach in elementary school? Reading, writing, arithmetic, and playing, running up and down, right? Sports organized at the elementary school now like it never was when I was in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
You have all these competitions, including track and field and all these things at the elementary school. We never had that. We used to do our own thing on the playground. And when you grew up in the country, you had a lot of playground, okay? But in the same way they organize sports at that level,
mm-hmm.
we have to add history to our curriculum. Marcus Garvey says, a people without an understanding of their history is like a tree without roots.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah, I get you.
Right? And that is a very fundamental issue for us. When I was in the Foreign Service back in the 70s, people used to take home leave. In England, Jamaicans,
right,
taking home leave in England. Government paid the airfare for that home leave.
For them to go home for independence?
For them to go home to England.
Oh, okay.
When civil servants, every 2 or 3 years, whatever it was, were entitled to home leave, like 3 weeks of home leave. And they didn't take it in Jamaica because England was the home,
right,
their mother country.
But you couldn't do that now, Ambassador.
That's one thing Michael Manley put a stop to.
Right.
He said you go on home leave, you can stay in a subsidized hotel in Jamaica. We're not paying your passage to go to England. England is not your home.
Well, I think we both agree that Michael Manley would never be named a national hero based on our
I'm
political
not going to
spectrum.
agree to that because I don't believe that he is very well deserving of the Order of the Nation or whatever it is, Order of National Hero.
Yeah, but
Right?
I don't think there's that political will to do it. But I want to ask you another one. Community. What is the role of community in getting the message about the significance of our national heroes? Does the community play a role in all of this?
Yes or no? You know, the community is so busy trying to survive the economic, social, and other conditions that they really don't expand beyond the bread and butter issues.
Right.
And you ask a community leader, why haven't you advocated for this? First thing I may ask is, does that put bread on my table? Does that feed my picnic?
Mm-hmm.
You know? But the educators are responsible for this.
Mm-hmm.
It is the educators. And with the educators come community activities to celebrate our heroes. Okay, we have 7 heroes. So even if we don't have a holiday on say Marcus Garvey's birthday, it should be recognized
Right.
as his birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we would have to make up one for Nanny because we don't know what hers is. But every other hero there, we have a birthday for them.
Yeah. But I don't think that is ever called out. I have never heard of any recognition or celebration around any of our national heroes outside of National Heroes Day.
Exactly. But that's not good enough. That's once a year. On Marcus Garvey's birthday, every school should have some kind of event
Mm-hmm.
in the school. And our Bustamantes or Norman Manley or whoever it is. But we don't know that it's their birthday.
Right.
We only know about Buster and Michael and Norman's birthday because the JLP will go to National Heroes Park and Leah Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And the PNP will go there and Leah Reed when it's Norman's birthday.
Right. Right.
You don't really hear anything about the others. They only Leah Reed when at Marcus Garvey's
shrine
when a head of state from Africa visits.
Right.
Because of the impact he had on Africa.
Yeah.
So they honor him when they come there.
Isn't the same thing with the legacies of these heroes, ambassadors? So, for example, the birthplace of all these national heroes, and some of them are supposed to be national treasures, but nothing is made of them, is it?
No, and if they, you see, when you talk about community tourism and you talk about heritage tourism, we have a great opportunity. We only give lip service to it. We have a great opportunity to have a viable heritage tourism business. We have lots of places. You know how many people internationally know about Michael Manley? Where is Michael Manley's birthplace? Do you know?
No, I don't know. Irish Town, I think, or somewhere.
No, something another Blair.
Oh,
John Blair.
Oh yeah, or John Blair, right? Because
Drum Blair
I
no
know
longer
Rachel had written a
exists.
story about that. Yeah.
Drum Blair is now housing development and all that stuff.
Yeah, but nobody knows these things, Ambassador. Is that a government issue?
Of course it is. Where Norman Manley was born, in Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
The house is still there. They're supposed to maintain it. I don't know how they do. I don't know how it's done. Where Buster was born, in Hanover.
Hanover, yeah.
I think his birthplace is also there. Bob Marley's is there. Bob Marley's more recent. And
Right,
you have the
9
Bob
miles. Yeah,
Marley
and
Museum.
they have a little tourism thing.
And you
I
have
think
the Bob
you
Marley
drive up
Museum.
there.
Right.
Right.
I don't know if you know this, Donovan, but when President Obama visited Jamaica, the first night he arrived in Jamaica, he ended up at Bob Marley Museum on Hope Road. You know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes.
Even
As a
more
matter
reason
of
for
fact,
even more
it
reason for
was
Bob
not
to get
publicized.
national hero.
For security reasons, it was not publicized.
Right.
He came in, freshened up in his hotel room, met with the staff and family members of the U.S. Embassy in Kingston at Pegasus. I was there. And then, when that meeting was over, he headed straight to Bob Marley Museum for a special tour in the night,
Right.
late in the night.
But what does that say, Ambassador? Because that's the point I'm trying to get to around these icons and the impact that they've had of a distinguished nature based on the regulation.
And that's the reason why I told you this story.
Yeah.
Because we are told that on Air Force One, from Washington to Kingston, the only music played was Bob Marley music.
Listen to that.
And again, the Jamaican patois is part of our history, part of our culture, part of our lives.
Yeah.
All of us. Right now, you and I, we can revert to patois if we wished.
Anytime.
Do you understand me?
Yeah.
I was at an international airport in Baltimore, in Maryland, and I heard some of Jamaica's choice words.
Only a yard man.
And I turned around, and Donovan, I saw a white man. But his accent, if you don't have the proper accent to use those words, they don't sound right. Okay? But his accent was perfect.
Have it covered.
He was Jamaican.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And again, that comes back to our out of many one people situation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But everybody out in that collection of who you are as Jamaican speak patois, even though they might have grown up in houses where their parents want them to speak perfect English.
Well, they watch Ring Ding and they watch Miss Lou. So I think that is part of maybe another thing that we have to look at.
Exactly. And their housekeepers and their gardeners didn't speak the Queen's English.
Yeah, we had a language that still stands up. All right, listen. Ambassador, I'm going to have a pause because I look at the clock and I know I'm getting past the time here. Final word on this. If you were to advise the government on something, one thing about our national heroes, what's that one thing very quickly?
It's teach about our national heroes in our schools.
Okay.
I think our children, it's our history.
Mm-hmm.
You teach our history through people. These people are stand out in our histories. So if you teach about them, you're also teaching our history.
Right.
And history and culture are wrapped up in one.
All right. I'm going to end with that word. History and culture are wrapped up in one. Government, people, Ambassador Curtis Ward says, teach our history. Ambassador Ward, was a pleasure. Thank you for joining us here on A Time to Reason on Gwaan. Take care of
It
yourself.
was my pleasure chatting with you.
All right.
Love it.
Teacher history, not true.
I love it. And Clarence Winter says it right. Righteous history.
Yeah, man.
Brilliant.
That's serious. It's great. It's great to pick on people like Ambassador Ward to get some learning.
Yes, a
So,
true gem.
yeah, man.
Clarence said conscious knowledge. Yes, Clarence, you're right.
Yeah, and it's true. We have to teach it because
Yes.
it's interesting that sometimes the people that we idolize and that we put up on the pedestal, especially the current generation, it's possible because we haven't idolized some of the others, or we
Yes.
haven't pushed them up far enough.
Yes.
And somebody needs to kind of acknowledge and take responsibility for that. Because unless, if we did do more about pushing up Miss Lou and Mas Ran and
Yes.
Marcus Garvey, Bob and others, chances are some of the icons that are standing out today wouldn't have as much influence or would be measured against the influence of others. Right. So great points by Ambassador Ward.
Yes. I see Prudence nicely. Betty saying awesome conversation. So right. Prudence, Betty, great history lesson. And Garfield Morgan says history is not past, it is very present.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for real. And as we celebrate our heroes, I think the other thing too is sometimes there isn't enough that is said about the impact of these folks, right? The Marcus Garveys and others. Just Norman Manley was not just a Jamaican hero. Norman Manley was highly respected across the Caribbean, right? In that time, the Eric Williams and the others of that time, and the same thing with Michael Manley.
Yeah.
Right. I was talking to somebody in the Foreign Service recently, and they talked about how significant an impact Michael Manley had on the non-aligned movement and the United Nations. And even though we were a small island state, people looked to Jamaica and looked to Manley for his opinion and his vote. Right. In order to influence. Yeah. So reason, so I go. But anyway, good reasoning.
Yes.
Appreciate Dr. Ward and our ambassador of all kind of things on him list. Enough things. Anyway, we're gonna stop it here, so right. We'll be back next week. Next week will be fun. What good.
All right, later.
Cool.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Next week will be good, but we'll chat about that a little later. First, we're going back to Patois word of the day. I see some comments and I love it. Patois word of the day is bashment. Shauna, them always wear bashment clothes. Yes, goody. Always wear bashment clothes. And also, I think it was Prudence. Prudence nicely, Betty. Them a bashment girl. I like it. And Prudence Betty, where the bashment there this week? They're right here, Prudence. I see the bashment there and you were here for sure. Yes, excellent. Thank you so much for all of that feedback. Bashment. Now, we're moving right along to spot that place. Did anybody get it? Let me see. Shauna Cassell, National Hero Circle. Ding, ding. Yes, that's correct. And who else? Oh, Clarence Winter, National Hero Circle, New Kingston, Jamaica. New Kingston, Jamaica. National Hero Circle. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody, for your feedback. Next week, just like what Donovan said, is our season finale. Ooh, me jump fast and say, if you have any comments, share feedback, please visit our website and visit our Facebook page and our website, whatagwan.ca. I am just so excited about next week that I just jump. My producer is not very happy with me this week. But next week is our season finale. Celebration sound effect. That is it. Yes. Next week, we have come to the end of our first season of Gwaan National, and we are going to celebrate. So join us next week as we bring in special guests, past hosts, and behind the scene team to talk about our experience on the show. It has been, I'm not even gonna start up, but yeah, after come back next week for you to hear and to see everybody. And we want to hear you chatting in the chat as well. We want to hear you. Next week is our finale. No, we're still looking for our marketing coordinator and content creator on a volunteer basis to join our Gwaan National team. This is a phenomenal opportunity to hone your communications, creative, and marketing skills, and to work and receive mentorship with a phenomenal team of professionals located across Canada. Students, you're welcome to apply. You must have experience working in marketing or social media space, have experience creating marketing social media campaigns, and must be familiar with the Jamaican Caribbean culture. Come on and be a part of a vibrant team of people, and you'll meet that team of people next week who are all passionate about sharing all aspects of our beautiful Jamaican culture to the world. Now, do you know somebody who is perfect fit for these roles? Please share this information with them and send them a link to our show. We'd love to hear from them. So send your resume via our social media accounts or simply email us at whatagwancnd@gmail.com. Send us your videos to say Watagwan so we can add it to the show. Check out our website, whatagwan.ca. Send us an email. Contact us on all our social media. My name is Shelley Morgan. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Watagwan. Let's take the time to reach out to the heroes and heroines in our lives and tell them thank you. I wish you a fabulous weekend. Walk good.